Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this delicious strawberry shortcake bars. It's just like the churro cheesecake recipe. It's really easy. We're just going to be adding the crumble that it's also very easy to make. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have this video in Spanish, but I had a lot of requests to do it in English, so here I go. I hope you guys like it. And the first thing we're going to do is to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And now let's get started with the crumble. You're going to need a bowl, and for this you're going to need a whole stick of butter. This is salted. You can use salted or unsalted. Make sure that your butter is at room temperature. And we are going to need 2 boxes of gelatin. This is strawberry, and also half a cup of flour. And now in a different bowl, we're going to put another whole stick of butter, 2 boxes of vanilla pudding mix, and half a cup of flour. And now we're going to mix it with a fork, or you can also use your hands until it's nice and mixed, until it almost looks like sand. And this is how it should look. Until you see it this way, that means it's ready. And now I'm going to mix the strawberry one, and I'm going to be doing the same. For your strawberry crumble, it's going to look a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more clumpy, but it's fine. Just keep mixing. And now we're going to place it on a tray. Just make sure that you place some parchment paper. Place both mixes and just kind of mix it a little bit and just flatten it out, so this way it can cook nicer. And now we're going to place it in the oven. I'm going to cook it for 15 minutes, but if you're going to do less, make sure that you add less minutes, maybe like 8 or 9 minutes. But just keep in mind that every oven is different, so you can always check it, make sure that you don't burn it. And now once it's ready, you're going to let it cool off for an hour to 2 hours so we can start making the crumbles. You can either do it with your hands, or you can also use a blender so you can mix everything better and the colors are going to combine even better. Just place some big chunks into the blender, or you can also use a processor. And I'm not going to mix it, I'm just holding the pulse motion, so this way you won't blend it completely. Unless if you want to use it for chocolate covered strawberries to use this crumble, you do want to mix it really good so your strawberries can look nice. I'm going to be making a video pretty soon on how to use this crumble on the strawberries. And look, with only 2 boxes of each, I was able to make all this crumble. And you can use this crumble for so many things. You can make shortcake apples, strawberries. You can use it on cupcakes, cakes, and it's delicious. And now we're going to make the cream cheese mix. We're going to need 2 8-ounce cream cheese. Make sure that it's at room temperature. Half a cup of sour cream, but if you don't like sour cream, you can just add a little bit or just don't add it. Half a cup of sugar and 2 eggs, and make sure that they are at room temperature. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And now we're going to mix everything really good until it's nice and smooth. And if you have your cream cheese at room temperature, it's gonna make everything so easy. It's going to mix really nice. Now I'm going to add a little bit of food coloring in pink color so it can color my mix. You can also add strawberry flavor if you want to give that flavor to your mix, but since I'm adding the crumble, I think that's gonna be perfect. Now we're going to bake it, and I want to show you the pans that I've been using. This is a 13x9. You can find this at Walmart. These are perfect, especially if you're selling this churro cheesecake. You could just give it out in these trays. I'm going to add a little bit of wax paper on the bottom of my tray just to make it easier to take it out. Or if you're not using the wax paper, spray some non-stick spray so it's easier to get it out. Now I'm going to add one of my rolls. One tip is to keep your rolls in the fridge until you're ready to do this, until you are going to bake it. So it's so much easier if it's nice and cold when you place it in your tray. So now I'm just going to place my first layer. I added a little bit of cinnamon on the bottom of my tray, only cinnamon. So this way it gets the taste of the cinnamon. First, I'm going to bake it in the oven for only 5 minutes. I want this sheet to get a little bit cooked, so that way your churro is not going to get soft on the bottom. So we're going to bake it for 5 minutes at 350 degrees. Now I'm going to prepare my mix. I'm going to add a little bit of my crumble into my mix. This is optional. You can also just add it on top of your churro cheesecake, but this is going to give a really good flavor. And now that my bread is ready, I had it in the oven for 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add my mix. So I'm just going to spread it pretty good. And now we're going to add the second roll. And like I said, make sure that you have it in the fridge. So when you do this part, it's really easy to just place it on top. If not, it can get a little bit tricky to place it on top. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just try to cover as much as you can. Now I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon, and also I'm going to add a little bit of this cinnamon and sugar. I just mixed a little bit, like 2 spoons of cinnamon and 2 spoons of sugar, and just add a little bit or as much as you like. And now we're going to bake it at 350 degrees for only 35 minutes. The way that I know that my churro cheesecake is ready, it's when the top sheet is nice and crunchy. That means that it's ready. You don't have to overcook it. And if you do see that it's a little bit like puffed up on the top, that means that you're overcooking your churro cheesecake. And now I'm just going to let it cool off in this rack until it's nice and cold. And now I'm going to show you guys how to make a whipped cream cheesecake frosting. Really easy. All you need is 2 bars of cream cheese. Make sure that they are at room temperature and just mix it really good. And once it's nice and smooth, we're going to set it aside. And now in a different chilled bowl, we're going to beat the heavy whipping cream. I'm using a whole quart, but if you don't want to make a lot, you can just use half of my recipe. We're going to mix it until it's nice and stiff. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we're going to give it a good mix. Also, we're going to add 2 cups of powdered sugar, but we're going to add it a little by little so we can mix it pretty good. And I'm going to be adding my heavy whipping cream into my cream cheese, and now we're going to mix all together. And now we're going to mix it until it's nice and stiff. If you keep mixing, this frosting is gonna get even more firm. I'm just using my regular blender, but if you have a special one, it's gonna be so much easier. I hope you guys tried this frosting. It's so good. The taste is delicious. You can use this for cakes, cupcakes, even for the cakes that people is making, the numbers or the letters. The frosting will stay nice and firm inside. I really hope you guys make this. And now I'm going to color my frosting with this food coloring. And as you guys can see, my frosting is nice and stiff. I also added some of my frosting in this piping bag so it's easier to make the decorations. And now going to decorate my churro cheesecake, and I just want to quickly show you guys how easy it is to remove it when you add the wax paper on the bottom. You just pull it out and then just remove it. I kept my churro cheesecake in the fridge overnight, that's why it doesn't look like fluffy, but your churro cheesecake should always be in the fridge. So make sure that if you do sell your churro cheesecake, make sure that you tell your clients that this is just like a cheesecake. Now I'm just going to cut all the edges so it can be nice and straight so I can add my frosting. And now I'm just going to add some of my frosting on top of my churro cheesecake. It doesn't have to be perfect since we're going to be adding the crumble. And now I'm going to add more crumble on the top. I'm just going to cover the whole thing on the top. You can also make this in different flavors like a lemon, and it tastes so good. Let me know in the comments if you want to see the lemon one. It's really, really good. And now we're going to cut it into bars. And this is how I cut it. On the long side, I like to do 2 lines. And on the other side I do 3 cuts, and I do my bars a little bit big. Let me know if you guys cut them this way. And this is how my bars look, and you can also decorate them on top, especially if you're going to sell them. Just add a little bit more of the frosting on top, and I like to use this strawberry syrup. I just add a little bit on top and just place a strawberry to even make it look better. And I just want to show you guys really quick that if you're going to sell them, you can place them in these plastic containers. This one is a little bit big just for one, but with this container you can fit 4. It all depends on how many you're selling or how you're going to sell them. This ones, I got them at Walmart, but you can find them probably cheaper somewhere else. You can sell 6 slices for $25, or you can sell the whole tray for $45. If you decorate it like a cake, you can sell it for up to $65. And if you add chocolate covered strawberries, you can add a little bit more. And I'm sure your clients will love this churro cheesecake. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, don't forget to leave me your comments, to like my video, to share my videos, and also don't forget to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.